Good morning, and welcome to the Port of Brownsville's annual State of the Port Address. My name is Eduardo Campiano, and I'm the Port Director of the Port of Brownsville. We're very excited to have all of you here with us today, because as we review our achievements, it's also a time to celebrate your role in our successes, helping us achieve a record year in 2017. Before I get underway, though, I'd like to do some introductions. First and foremost, I'd like to say that Chairman Wood, who is going to be here and was going to be our Master of Ceremonies, is not going to be joining us today. He's a bit under the weather, and he will be unable to be here, but we look forward to having him back in the saddle next week. He was so very looking forward to today's program, but he asked me to please express his sincere regrets for not being able to be here. We miss him, but like I said, we know we will have him back next week, ready to go. In his place, Vice Chairman John Wood will act as the primary role in today's presentation. And so with that, I'd like to go ahead and acknowledge our Board of Canal Commissioners for the Brownsville Navigation District. And I'll begin by acknowledging Vice Chairman John Reed, Secretary, Commissioner Sergio Tito Lopez, Commissioner Carlos Masso, and Commissioner Ralph Cowan. I'd also ask you to just join me in a recognition of the port staff, the entire port staff. Our success is really their success. And even though Donna is not with us today, I certainly want to do a special shout out to her as well, our Deputy Port Director, Donna Emart. At this moment, I would ask you to please stand with me for the posting of the colors and allow me to ask the Brownsville Police Department Color Guard. Thank you to the Brownsville Police Department Color Guard. Please remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Andreas Lewis.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, the psalmist tells us that the earth is the Lord's and all it contains, the world and all those who dwell in it. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. This is the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face, even Jacob. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. As we come together today to consider and rejoice in the state of our port, we acknowledge that it is by the Lord's hand that we sit on this land by the sea and established on a river by a 17-mile channel. We are part of generations that sought the God who lifts up our head, that we may be lifted up and see the glory of heaven shine on our land to prosper and secure it. As we rejoice in your faithfulness today and recognize our progress and the promise of our future, we give thanks for all those who laid the foundation, for it was those, and for those who presently manage and develop it, can speak to us so that those who manage and presently develop it can speak to us with great hope. We are thankful for all the tenants, past, present, and future, who have seen in this place by the sea a promise of well-being and growth for their enterprises, employees, and families. Lord, we ask that your blessing would rest on our fellowship today and on this meal as we rejoice in your goodness and faithfulness to us through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Andreas. This is the part that always... Oh, please, take your seats. Sorry, yeah, that's all.
Make yourselves comfortable. Yeah, this is the part that always kind of makes me a little bit nervous, because this is the one where we hate to offend anyone, but this is the opportunity to recognize our elected officials, our dignitaries, and our regional partners. And so it's always a little bit, oh, geez, I hope I don't miss anyone. But I think first and foremost, we're so grateful just to have you attend and join us in this event. So let me begin by recognizing some members of the audience. First, I'd like to start with recognizing Ana Garcia, who's here representing U.S. Senator John Cornyn. Also, Cassandra Meade here, also representing U.S. Senator Ted Cruz. Our distinguished Senator Eddie Lucio Jr., Texas State Senate. Representing the Office of the Governor, we have Leticia Flores. Cameron County, I want to recognize Commissioner Sofia Benavides. Also, of course, the port is in her precinct. And I know that Judge Trevino, RSVP, that he was coming, and I've been told that he's on his way, so please certainly welcome him warmly when he does arrive. Thank you. Also would like to recognize Sheriff Omar Lucio. I see Omar in the audience. I know he's here. Okay. David Betancourt, our county treasurer. David is in the house. Thank you, David. David Garcia, I believe he's in here as well, County Administrator. David. Certainly some of our regional partners. And I'd like to introduce our new Port Director for Customs and Border Protection. I hope this is your first official public event. Port Director Tater Ortiz. Deputy Port Director Bob Parker. Yeah. Also with the Rio Grande Valley Development Council, Ron Garza's here. Another one of our regional collaborators, Sergio Contreras with the Valley Partnership, is here. Also would like to recognize some of our local partners, and we have the City of Brownsville present. I saw Pete Gonzalez is here, the Deputy City Commissioner, or City Manager. Geez, I've been out of touch so long, I forget. From the Brownsville Public Utility Board, John Brusiak and Fernando Sainz are present. And if I miss someone, well, no, I want to catch one more that's here. I certainly want to recognize, making a grand entrance, is Marisela Cortez, representing Congressman Firmon Vela's office. So, if I missed anyone, my sincere apologies. But if you are important and you need to be recognized, feel free to stand. Even though everybody is important, so you should all stand, and thank you for being here. We're going to proceed with the review of the port's progress in 2017. And again, thank you to the Port Commissioners for their support. So we'll be doing that shortly, and Vice Chairman Reed will come up to lead us in the presentation of the state of the port for 2017. In the meantime, please enjoy your lunch and make yourselves at home, and we'll proceed shortly. Thank you.
Please continue with your lunch as we go through the program, but it's certainly my honor to ask you to welcome to the podium Vice Chairman John Reed. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I'm so honored to have everyone here to hear the state of your port. Thank you, Eddie, and my congratulations to you and your entire staff for the excellent accommodations made for us, our guests here today. Please join me in a round of applause in recognition to those working behind the scenes, not just today, but every day. Thank you all. To the point, the state of the Port of Brownsville is strong and getting stronger. As evidence, I offer two critical measures of success: total operating revenue and tonnage. For the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2017, the port set new standards of excellence by surpassing the $20 million in total operating revenues threshold for the first time ever, in the process moving more cargo than ever before. Not only did the port exceed the $20 million threshold in total operating revenues, it did it in a convincing way, reaching nearly $24 million in unaudited total revenue. That exceeds the previous high water mark set in 2015 by more than $4 million. On the annual tonnage side of the business, the volume of cargo handled by port customers, we topped 10.3 million short tons and set a new record in the process. Thank you to everyone contributing to the new yardstick of success. As we gather here today to celebrate these accomplishments, let's not fall victim to what former Fed Chairman Alan Greenspan famously called irrational exuberance when describing stock market investors before the dot-com bust. It may not always be this good, so let's enjoy it, but keep working even harder. Yes, these are indeed well-earned records, but none of us, specifically the Port of Brownsville, can afford to rest on its laurels. What are we doing to accelerate this momentum, and what should you expect next year, over the next near horizon and beyond? That's what we're here this afternoon to discuss. As a commission, we are applying the lessons of the past to our future to establish a more precise path to success. And there are certain things we can do now to be ready for tomorrow. Key among them is planning for sustainable change. Benjamin Franklin said, when you're finished changing, you're finished. Just because we have always done things a certain way doesn't mean that there's not room for improvement. Aimed at advancing the everyday lives of those living in Brownsville, Cameron County, and the Rio Grande Valley. And that is what we intend to do. So let's take a moment to pat ourselves on the back for having had a great year, but at the same time, expect growth to bring change, real change. Quickly, let's review some of the key events of 2017 that gets us to where we are today. In January of last year, we moved, not the port, of course, but our administrative offices were temporarily relocated to accommodate the expansion of our business office and administrative campus. We're nearing completion of the new and renovated buildings now, and expect to be in the new facilities in June. Our home is still 1000 Faust Road, and as the date draws closer, you will receive an invitation for the grand reopening. For the first time ever, we will offer a public room, commission chambers, and convenient consolidated offices for customers and constituents alike. Other recent improvements include the launch of the port's new redesigned website in February 2017. The new website is an improvement from the previous version and features a cleaner and more visually impactful design, providing visitors greater detail and information about the port. It also features enhanced content for marketing, media relations, and public information. The new site also includes information about the Brownsville Navigation District Board of Commissioners, meeting agendas, and minutes, and important contact information. For its effort, Port staff received the prestigious 2018 AVA Gold Digital Award. AVA Digital Awards is an international competition recognizing excellence by creative professionals responsible for the planning, concept, direction, design, and production of digital communications, like the Port's new website. Congratulations to this team. The awards are up here if anybody wants to take a look at them. In March, construction began on new liquid cargo dock 6. To put that into perspective, the last new liquid cargo dock was completed in September 1995, almost 23 years ago. The new dock is scheduled for completion in January 2019, and it features a 1,345-foot long bulkhead, and a 312-foot long dock structure with an impressive 50-foot draft. The new dock is expected to cost $24.4 million and will be a valuable addition for a growing liquid cargo business, capable of accommodating both ocean-going barges and ships. Also in March, we welcomed CSC Sugar to the Port family of companies. CSC is one of the largest importers and exporters of refined sugar to and from North America, and has already hired more than 35 local employees to fill positions of warehousemen, forklift drivers, and packaging equipment operators. CSC operates a sugar right here at the port. Welcome to Brownsville. In April, West Plains LLC received its first grain of the season and the port's first shipment of grain in more than 7 years. With the arrival of 109 rail cars of corn from Nebraska, West Plains entered into an agreement with the port in 2016 to restore and operate our iconic grain elevator with the capacity to store 3 million bushels of grain. Since restoration efforts began, West Plains has invested more than $7 million and expects to invest another $13 million for dock improvements and equipment. Soon, West Plains will be ready to receive up to 220 rail cars monthly. What a great addition to our community and to the port community. In May, more than 2 years after shutting down operations, the former Esco Marine Inc. ship recycling yard resumed operations under a new ownership and with a new name, Steel Coast. Along with them, the port welcomes 245 new jobs. Welcome home, Steel Coast. You mean a lot to Brownsville. Good to have you back. In June, with the twirl of a windmill, the lights went on. The Port of Brownsville played an important logistical role in Acciona Energy's continued expansion in the United States with the inauguration of the San Ramon Wind Farm in Los Fresnos. Acciona utilized the port to deliver and store 42 complete windmill towers consisting of 378 components destined for this project. We're seeing more and more wind projects shipped through the port, and this is a good thing on so many levels. June was a busy month at the port. Honolulu-based Pasha Hawaii announced the selection of Keppel Landfills for the construction of 2 container ships with an option to deliver 2 additional vessels. Delivery of the first vessel is expected in the first quarter of 2020, while the second vessel will be delivered in the third quarter of the same year. The contracts are worth $400 million to Keppel, creating 700 local well-paying jobs. The new U.S. Jones Act vessels will carry 2,525 TEUs and utilize Keppel's proprietary LNG propulsion technology, resulting in less air emissions and better fuel efficiency. Nicely done, Keppel Landfills. The USS Independence completed its final voyage of 16,000 miles before arriving at the port of Brownsville from Bremerton, Washington in June. ISL won the Navy bid to recycle the 60,000-ton vessel, the last of the Forrestal class of supercarriers, to arrive at the port. This is the third vessel of its kind to be recycled by the company, which is part of the EMR group. The Independence was home to tens of thousands of veterans throughout its 39 years of service, till it was decommissioned in 1998. Rest in peace, old friend. Also in June, Texas Cement began operations in the renovated Luma building, now emblazoned with the bold Texas Cement logo. The new company received its first shipment at the port on June 14th, delivering 25,000 metric tons of Turkish Portland cement. This growing enterprise supplies many of the valley's ready-mix concrete vendors, which means less expensive building materials, further fueling the area's appetite for growth. Welcome to the neighborhood, Texan Cement. In July, the Texas Shrimp Association kicked off its annual Gulf shrimp season with a traditional blessing of the fleet at the Port of Brownsville Fishing Harbor. Father Mark Waters delivered a powerful sermon and asked those gathered at the ceremony to pray for a bountiful harvest this season for the well-being of all shrimpers while they're out at sea. Among those present at the event were port officials, local shrimpers, and representatives from the Texas Department of Agriculture. Shrimping is big business in Brownsville, and we're proud you call our port your home. July also witnessed a preemptive exercise to coordinate and assess our preparedness in the event of a security incident. The United States Coast Guard Sector Corpus Christi, alongside the Port of Brownsville and other federal, state, and local officials, conducted an area maritime security training and exercise program, tabletop exercise in Brownsville. This exercise, held at Keppel Landfill's facilities, brought together more than 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement and emergency management partner agencies, in addition to regulated oil, natural gas, and chemical facilities, to test the South Texas area maritime security plan. Thanks to all those folks, we're prepared in the face of an emergency. Thanks to everyone who protects us all when we show up for work. In August saw the launch of the Port's newest marketing communications tool, the 2017 Port of Brownsville Directory, a comprehensive annual guide featuring in-depth articles, facts, and details about the port and related industries. The 82-page publication includes a detailed 8-page map of the port's facilities, highlighting tenants, docks, sheds, patios, and other important assets. The business directory contains almost 300 local, regional, state, national, and international businesses, listed in 63 different categories. And I'm pleased to report our inaugural directory is winner of the 2017 Platinum Markham Award for Government Publications. Congrats to our communications team, and many thanks to our advertisers too. Later in the month, the B&D took an important step demonstrating regional collaboration by signing an MOU with the Mission Economic Development Corporation to collaborate on international trade opportunities with Mexico and other development projects. Through this alliance, both entities will work to connect and grow business between the Mission Business Park and the Port of Brownsville. This effort was subsequently followed with similar MOUs with the Cameron County Bridge System and Far Bridge, all promoting international economic development. We are the Valley's port, and we mean to lead the region in economic prosperity. But as August drew to a close, Cameron County and the Port of Brownsville exhaled a sigh of relief, while other Texans were literally in the eye of a storm, Hurricane Harvey. First thought to have sights on our fair city passed us by on August 25th, making landfall north of us near Port Aransas as a Category 4 storm. Our port was as ready as it could be. Many lives were lost in the wake of the storm, and many more continue to struggle with the recovery from Harvey. This serves as a constant reminder of the power of nature and the will of God. And it's worth noting that during this disaster, the Port of Brownsville is the only port in Texas that remained open and unharmed by the storm. We were and continue to be very fortunate. Our hearts go out to those not so fortunate. In September, we played host to National Truck Driver Appreciation Week, an annual week-long recognition of professional truck drivers who deliver America's freight safely and securely every day. Each year during National Truck Driver Appreciation Week, truck drivers entering the port receive tokens of appreciation from co-sponsors like International Shipbreaking, Cameron County Regional Mobility Authority, and the port. According to the American Trucking Association, there are more than 3.5 million professional truck drivers nationwide. We salute you. In October, port staff received word that it again earned the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in government accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment. This is the 6th consecutive year the district has received this award, and I congratulate our dedicated finance department and its leadership. Very impressive. By November, we received word that Foreign Trade Zone number 62, the port's FTZ, again ranked second in the nation for the value of exports in 2016, according to the U.S. Foreign Trade Zone Board's annual report to Congress. The port's FTZ reported more than $2.8 billion in exported goods in 2016. Additionally, FTZ number 62 ranked 25th nationally for the value of imports totaling more than $2.5 billion. The Port of Brownsville's FTZ has consistently ranked in the top 5 nationally since 2012, and this marks the second time in a row it achieved the nation's number 2 spot. And as the year came to an end on December 28, 2017, Chairman Wood signed the final paperwork with the Union Pacific Railroad to officially culminate a 44-year project to improve the region's economic vitality, environment, and social benefits by relocating 2 outdated railroad switch yards from downtown Brownsville to areas closer to the Port of Brownsville. The benefit to regional residents is fewer railroad crossings. The advantage to the port is greater efficiencies for its growing number of railroad customers with increased volumes and speeds of service. Now, rail customers of the port and Union Pacific routinely partner with the Rio Grande International Railroad to move tens of thousands of rail cars annually throughout the United States and into Mexico. Now, clearly, there were many other noteworthy events in 2017 for the port. These are just a few highlights. But these events and milestones demonstrate a very busy, productive, and rewarding year. Of course, among the key areas of interest in today's report is the port's operating and financial performance. Each of my fellow commissioners will follow with comments outlining important events and achievements contributing to what has already been described as a record year for both revenues and tonnage. And while we're confident to acknowledge these records, they remain unofficial and subject to the final annual audit. Until then, let's take a look at the numbers and how they stack up. First, tonnage. A comparative look back for the 10 years beginning in 2008 shows that tonnage has grown from nearly 6.9 million short tons then to 10.3 million short tons for the period ending December 31st, 2017. For the same period, total operating revenues have grown from 12.8 million in 2008 to just shy of 24 million in 2017. If that number stands, it represents a new revenue record of $4 million, more than the port's previous best year in fiscal year 2015, when we reported 19.9 million total operating revenue. Even if we remove the extraordinary income earned from the Valley Crossing Pipeline's one-time payment of $1.5 million in 2017, that still proves a strong performance in 2017 for reaching $22.4 million. Ship traffic excelled too in 2017. In fiscal year 2016, we had a good year, reaching total vessel traffic of 1,091. In 2017, we reached 1,317 vessels, calling on the port, a 21% increase. More vessels, more cargo means more jobs. These strong results are made possible by principled financial programming and prudent management. And with the good fortune of some excellent timing and advanced preparation to take advantage of some very profitable opportunities, 2017 is indeed a banner year. Looking ahead, in 2018 should represent a transformational period of growth, not just for the port, but for the valley as a whole. With the possibility of 3 LNG liquefaction export facilities approaching their final investment decisions, and with Big River Steel, known also as locally as Project America, nearing an expansion decision to add a new facility at the port. Together, these opportunities represent pivotal changes in the valley's fortune, with potentially explosive job and wage-earning growth to help create career opportunities for our eager young people and deserving workforce. And these industries will likely attract other industries, adding to the resulting positive economic impact for perhaps generations. But a vital part of the port business is deciding who we do business with. In this commission, with deliberate concern for this community, awaits the decisions of state and federal agencies responsible for authorizing these projects. But if affirmative decisions are made supporting the advancement of these projects, 2018 could be a turning point for the port and the valley. Like you, we wait. We've got another big project on the not too distant horizon, and I'd like to ask Commissioner and B&D Secretary Sergio Lopez to fill us in.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Reed. On behalf of my family and my friends, I would like to receive this Oscar. I've always wanted to. Oh, I'm at the wrong place. Not the real thing. Since the Port of Brownsville growth efforts began nearly 12 years ago to deepen the port's channel, the rapid depth of the ship channel is our most important asset. By way of example, think of the channel like the length of an airport. The longer the runway, the bigger the aircraft landing and taking off the airport, which translates into more passengers and cargo. With seaports, the deeper the channel, the bigger the ships. The bigger the ships, the more cargo they carry, the more jobs created to support cargo activity. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, a study released just last year, a single additional inch of draft allows a bulk grain ship to move 179 more tons of cargo serving the port, valued at an additional $30,000. Or a ship carrying John Deere tractors, for example, could move 36 more tractors, valued at $2.4 million, with just one more inch of draft. But the Port of Brownsville plans to deepen the channel from 42 feet to 52 feet. That's 10 feet deeper. With that much in additional draft, the cost savings for shipping goods across the world ocean to and from the port achieve a much greater value proposition for shippers and receivers alike. The economy is still staggering, and the biggest winners are the workers. Deeper drafts will create jobs, and it's a job driver, attracting new customers and types of shippings to the port. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the U.S. Congress have both authorized the project, which is well into its permitting phase. The Corps of Engineers long ago recognized the value of the port of Brownsville offers the U.S. offshore oil business. With a number of size and rigs designed to build and deliver from the port, the additional draft makes the industry more sustainable while making possible the attraction of other industries and shippers, leading to even more jobs. Dredging and digging a hole in the ocean can be frustrating. Believe me, it can. We've been doing it. Preliminary Corps of Engineers estimates puts the project at more than $200 million to modernize our existing docks to accommodate the deeper draft, and almost another $60 million. With that being said, the Port of Brownsville's ushers will start passing the bucket around right now. We'll take rings, watches, credit cards, whatever you can give us, because we need every single penny that we can get. The cost is challenging, especially for the emerging ports like Brownsville, but we are seeking participation of third-party partnerships to accelerate construction, seeking future federal reimbursement. As we move through the final permitting efforts, which, by the way, are daunting, we are on a parallel path to secure funding and to begin the project as soon as possible. How soon is difficult to predict, but it's more closer at hand with a higher probability of success than we previously had imagined. Project commencements could be within the next 5 years or so. A lot has to happen to make this a reality, but with the momentum that we have and the good team that we have in place, this can be possible. We'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Reed. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. If, like me, most of you drive often throughout the valley, and Lord knows I've been driving a lot this past few months, you've noticed a lot of construction, especially on Highway 77 and Highway 48. Valley Valley Crossing Pipeline is an ambitious $1.5 billion project intended to support the delivery of natural gas to cleaner burning natural gas to Mexico's electric power plants. The project began construction in April of 2017 and is rapidly progressing. To be clear, this is a natural gas pipeline and is not a liquefied natural gas pipeline. Originating in Agua Dulce near Corpus Christi, the 168-mile-long pipeline makes its way to the Port of Brownsville, where it plays a vital logistics role in the project. Pipeline contractors and subcontractors have leased sizable amounts of property at the port to stage pipe and materials for the project, which is estimated to reach peak employment in Cameron County with between 1,250 jobs to between 1,500 construction workers just this past year alone. The Port of Brownsville has already received approximately 80 miles of pipe for the project, along with hundreds of thousands of timber mats that are used to protect the sensitive parts of the environment during this construction. With an in-service date of October 2018, the pipeline portion of the project is moving quickly, but timed to coincide with the completion of the southernmost compressor station. The construction of the compressor station is underway on port property, and that's located on north of Highway 48, across from Keppel Amphil's facility. There, the pipeline diameter is going to be reduced from 48 inches to 42 inches, where the gas will be recompressed by a 96,560 horsepower unit for its final journey to Mexico. About 12 miles offshore, where the U.S. and Mexico international waters meet, the Valley Crossing Pipeline will join the Sur de Texas Tuxpan pipeline, which is also currently under construction. As the Valley Crossing Pipeline makes its way through Cameron County, it will be a magnet for economic development, providing new industry, reliable, and affordable energy options, not previously available here. And what does the pipeline mean to the port? Well, aside from new revenue earned from dockage, wharfage, and land leases already banked, and longer-term revenue earned from extended land leases and easements, more broadly, it means the region can attract, construct, and compete for projects of this scope and scale, and perhaps larger. It's a huge infrastructure win for the Valley and a positive demonstration of regional functional competence. And because the project is on time and on budget, other projects are observing the success of Valley Crossing Pipeline, which may mean more future revenue for the region and even more jobs for the Valley. None of this, however, would be possible without the Port of Brownsville, and we're just scratching the surface. Stay tuned for more future developments. Thank you all for being here this afternoon.
As mentioned earlier, the port's administrative staff moved to a temporary quarters in January of 2017 with the Keppel Amphil's complex, the Keppel Amphil's complex. While the port's old offices were renovated and expanded. Simply put, we had outgrown our old offices and frankly just worn out. The first pod of the old building was built and constructed in 1973 and consisted of about 7,000 square feet. Stylish and iconic for its time, the old offices were simple and utilitarian in form and function. As the port grew, so did the demand for more offices, so in 1983, a second pod was added, essentially doubling the port's office space to about 14,000 square feet. More growth followed, and in 2015, a decision was made to expand the offices again. This time, however, by remodeling the two existing pods, adding a third, and building a new office just north of Faust Road to accommodate a truck permitting office and modern records storage facility. The repurposed offices have been completely gutted, retrofitted, and cost-effectively modernized to accommodate current and future communications and technology demands, providing a few extra buckle holes in the belt for future growth. Our employees should find their new home comfortable while serving to the needs of our customers, who we expect to also find it comfortable. New to the office campus is a third pod, which includes a commission chamber and public room, both in great demand for many years. The pod's simple design are intended to satisfy the need of the public for meeting space and feature a special area to preserve our past with historic Maritime. And we're going to have, the room we've been meeting in before we gutted it, every time we had anything of any significance, there was no room. There was overflow. Everybody was out in the hallway, and we just outgrew it. We outgrew the whole thing, and so we just had to do this. But Maritime memorabilia and port photos, old and new alike, it will be a place where Brownsville Navigation District's constituents, customers, tenants, and guests will feel comfortably at home. The new pod adds 7,000 more square feet to the main office campus, with a soon-to-be total of 21,000 square feet upon completion. Those familiar with the old office may find the new facility different in another important way. The old back door is the building's new front door. The new building's main entrance will be easy to find by simply following the two overreaching eyebrow architectural features on the east side of the building. There, guests will enter the new reception area, flanked on opposing sides with the commission chamber and the Hall of History. Well-known and respected Brownsville architect Roberto J. Reese is a design expert was selected by the commission to oversee the project, with Zebra Construction winning a competitive bid to construct the project, estimated to cost about $7.2 million that we paid out of revenues from the port. We've not used any tax money at all. And also all these docks and things that we built, we had to borrow some money, but it was done with revenue money. So the users of these docks are paying for them, not the general public. We're not taxing the constituents for that. Substantial completion is expected by May 15th, followed by an anticipated move-in date of June 15th later in 2018 on either Veterans Day or next year's Memorial Day. Plans are underway to dedicate a special area within the footprint of the new campus, recognizing the port's long role in the U.S. Navy and Maritime Administration ship recycling efforts, the largest such effort in the nation. There will be more about that later. We're all looking forward to getting back to our own place where we can continue the good work of the port for years to come. Because I think your commissioners have finally and the commissioners of the past have finally brought this thing forward where we're not canal commissioners anymore. We've actually become port commissioners. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Cowan. Now you've heard from each of us, and in review, it's apparent that 2017 was a very eventful and good year. We congratulate all our customers, port tenants, and users who all contributed to these important financial and operating records. And congratulations to our employees who also contributed to these new milestones. We appreciate you, one and all. Before we conclude, I'd like Commissioner Masso to come forward. This is Commissioner Masso's last State of the Port event as a commissioner. His 4 terms, 16 years, is concluding this May. And I'd like all of us to give him a very special round of applause for all his work and dedication.
All right, I was not prepared for this. I just want to say it's been my pleasure to serve at the Port of Brownsville as a commissioner. It's been a real learning experience. I've made a lot of friends. I'm going to miss seeing everybody, but I'll be visiting. I'm not leaving the valley. I'm not leaving anywhere. I'm still going to be here. I'm just not going to be serving as a commissioner. But it's been real. I've enjoyed it, and it's time to pass this on to somebody else that can bring in new ideas. I'm a believer that sometimes you gotta let somebody else younger come in with fresh new ideas that can help our community and the port. So with that, I thank you all very much.
Thanks to everyone who helped make today's event successful. And with that, I return the lectern to our CEO, Eddie Capriano.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Reed and members of the B&D Commission. And I guess, Commissioner Cowan, we've come a long way from being a canal to a port, so thank you for pointing that out. This concludes today's event. We were I think rather ambitious, but we were determined to get you all back to your places of work or where you need to be in time. So before we go, I would like to say that today's remarks will be posted on our website this afternoon. So if you want to have access to them, for those of you that were vigorously taking notes, well, you can go back and review your notes this afternoon. And I would encourage you to visit the Port website just by going to portofbrownsville.com. And I think there's a lot of useful information. And more importantly, it's a tool to serve everyone. So we're always looking for suggestions on how to improve it. I'd also would like to take the opportunity to again thank the staff. As many of us know, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And certainly very fortunate not only to have the policy leadership that we have, but also the staff at the Port of Brownsville. Thank you all. For those of you that want to stay around, we'll stick around to answer any questions need be. But I want to do one more thing before I kind of close the event for today. And we kind of always save the best for the last. And so, like I said, when you take time to try to introduce everyone, you always forget someone, and I've done that 3 times today. But I do want to recognize someone, old friend, who is here in the capacity of representing the Secretary of State's office, and that is Queta Caballero. So we save the best for the last. With that, thank you very much. We appreciate taking the time to join us today and look forward to more things that come out of the Port of Brownsville. Thank you, and God bless you all.